Hey everyone, it's New Comic Book Day. I got my haul, bought yet another short box. I guess long boxes would go a lot longer, but I consider them too awkward of a size for my needs and for my spaces. So I just keep buying more and more short boxes. I've got a lot of, I keep getting new comics, and I've got a lot of older comics that I have been storing in drawers and need to get into boxes. So, today I got Welcome Back #2. This I owe thanks to Wednesday Serial for getting me onto this book. I think it may only be 4 issues. It says 2 of 4 right on it. But we'll see. The first issue was really good. We'll see if it goes in a great direction. Maybe it'll become one of those things that that Boom continues, the way they did Lumberjanes. I got Starfire. This is for my daughter, and we read it together, and I have to often explain away some of the adult situations. But she loves Starfire, and this is close enough. And I've got to say, this is their best cover yet, and they've had some good covers. I hear Starfire kisses a dolphin in this one, so that'll be awesome. A oversized, overpriced Lumberjanes special. I hope this is good. They're kind of bringing in a new creative team on the main Lumberjanes title, and this is by a different creative team. So it'll be interesting, and I'm quite optimistic. Interesting to see as more people work in the Lumberjanes world with the Lumberjane characters, if it can succeed that way and become kind of a long-term franchise for Boom. I guess maybe they own it rather than the people who created it, although the creators are credited at the top of every title page or inside front page. So that at least is to Boom's credit, and I assume that there is some decent financial deal, I hope. Batman and Robin Eternal. I'm looking forward to this, our weekly fun book. I think, yep, Tony Daniel cover. For a Tony Daniel cover, I like it pretty well. The expression on Robin's face is a little crazy. Yeah. Interesting, very interesting cover the more you look at it, stuff in the background and such. And then the main Batman title, which I'm back to being irritated with because of the last issue's fill-in issue that I felt accomplished very little. However, I look forward to getting all the remaining Capullo issues of Batman. He is supposedly taking a hiatus from Batman, starting with issue 50 or 51, so roughly 5 more issues to go. And in the interview I saw, he claimed he'd be coming back, but there were no specifics, like, I'll be back at issue 58 or something like that. Just the claim that he's coming back. But he's off to do a book with Mark Millar. And again, this is, how much do I believe interviews that I've heard? But I read or heard an interview with Sean Murphy talking about how Mark Millar can kind of promise to make people millionaires. Now, whether that was a gross exaggeration or maybe Greg Capullo's off to become a millionaire with Mark Millar. I'm sure Greg Capullo, being one of the top artists in mainstream comics, makes a very nice salary anyway. And then the sales of his original art must make him a lot of money too. Okay, and then I got, this book was a little bit of a hard choice for me, I Hate Fairylands. I have to go hide this because I've seen the previews. It's very violent, and anything that says Fairyland on it, my daughter is going to want to gravitate towards. There's nothing she loves more than fairies. If she meets a girl in the playground or at recess at school, the big question is, do you like fairies? Do you want to play fairies? So to have a book called I Hate Fairyland, anyway, I've got to hide this from her. it's very bloody on the inside, and she's pretty horrified and has nightmares about bloody kinds of things. And then in the mail, as I walked in, I got Doctor Strange #1, which is in my Marvel subscription. It came completely undamaged. I did have one of my subscription comics come in damaged the other day. It was a Star Wars, like Star Wars #8 or 9 or something like that. And I don't really feel bad, but I did worry, well, what if I'm gonna, because I haven't seen damaged comics from my Marvel subscription, my Marvel mail subscription. So I'm committed for 12 issues of Doctor Strange if it runs that long. I've heard some things, some slightly mixed things, so my level of expectations has been lowered a little. I was really excited at the thought of Jason Aaron doing Doctor Strange. Definitely a strong favorite from Steve Ditko's 60s work and quite a bit of the 70s work with Gene Colan and Frank Brunner and Steve Englehart writing and that like, and I always loved Doctor Strange in the Defenders, back in the prime days of the Defenders in the early Bronze Age, early to mid Bronze Age. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm just psyched for that. And then because there weren't that many comics this week, I had a little extra time because my wife and daughter are off doing things. I thumbed through the dollar bins at my store, for which I also get my discount. And they were packed tight. I mean, there's been lots of comics coming out, but huge numbers of issue #2s were in there of recent comics, and some issue #1s. There were so many packed into there. Usually they just have a small amount. So they must have been doing a big culling, or there's been so much churn with new renumberings that they get caught, getting their orders wrong or whatever, or maybe it had to do with variant covers also. So, because with variant covers, they often have to order more comics than they think they can sell to receive the variant cover that they think they can sell for a large amount of money. So that's part of what can fill up the cheap boxes. So I saw a lot of Battle World and the like there, but most of the Marvel I chose not to get, even though for $1 or 80 cents in my case it was tempting. But I can read most of that on my Marvel Unlimited app. So I got this. I think it's a one-shot Exo Man of War 25th anniversary special. Just thought that would be fun to check out. I'm mostly reading Valiant digitally. And then I grabbed, even though it's #2, I grabbed Weird World because I just wanted to see the art that everyone's talking about, and I want to see it in proper comic book form rather than just read it digitally. And then a comic book that I've heard some people rave about and some people be a little disappointed with, Dark Corridor. This was issue #1, so if I like it, I'm sure I can grab issue #2, and I don't even know if there's an issue #3 out yet. I think maybe there is an issue #3. So yeah, last week I had a lot of fun being sarcastic about hot books and high print runs and low print runs and the like. I mentioned someone specifically by name. I stand by what I said about some misstatements of fact in that video, or what I felt were facts I disagreed with about a particular comics print run that person had stated. But perhaps the tone of a sarcastic video in general, sarcastic about the idea of hot books and rushing out to get things, made it seem like all the sarcasm was on that person. And I think the actual thing that I did that I regretted was in the public forum of comments, kind of, with that tone already set, kind of said some snarky things about his channel, although in my head they meant different things than they might have, in the context of my thoughts, what I was thinking when I wrote those comments. But anyway, when I discovered that he was upset about it, I decided to just take down the video. And I've once before taken down a video that I thought might have upset someone. Unless it's a video where I state something that I cannot, that I must say to the world, I'm happy to take something down if it distresses someone, because this is just about a friendly conversation, and there's all different kinds of people out here from different places, from different spaces in their life, different countries, different regions, and just different standards, and it's easy to misunderstand each other, or it's easy to joke around with something and then later realize that was actually mean. So anyway, I took that down. However, now I seem to have run into conflicts with that same person on Twitter, and I think I will just not mention that person specifically or their channel specifically again. I will talk some more about my thoughts about hot comics and variant covers and all kinds of other things that I think are a little unhealthy for this this industry, but it's not about one particular person. It's about a whole trend or a whole way of looking at comics that goes against the way I look at comics. It's not a major thing, but it's it's like a little itch I want to scratch every now and then. And everybody can collect comics the way they want, of course, but I just like to state my thoughts on it, and I do worry about people who might get a misapprehension about collecting comics and think it's all about hot comics and chasing down some elusive unicorn of a new issue that if they get it they can make huge amounts of money off of it. Inevitably, a few people make a little bit of money off of eBay before the heat dies down and the comics are worth next to nothing. So yeah, if you want to invest in comics, maybe look to the Silver Age or Golden Age. But even there, very risky. You can watch Edenick One's videos where he notes prices that are going up and down at auctions, books that are becoming hot, books that are cooling off, and once were worth more. So yeah, there's fun in thinking you've got something hot, and I've talked about that before. So anyway, apologies to anyone who wished they'd seen my little sarcastic video. It's just was not worth keeping it up in case it did hurt feelings. Talk to y'all later. Bye bye.